Hello students. In lesson number 3, we have learned about the occurrence of metals and the flow chart representing the extraction of metal depending on the reactivity of the metals. So now we are seeing the extraction of metals one by one, how chemically the metals are extracted. Okay. So the first one, the metals, extraction of metals with the low reactivity. So which metals are having the low reactivity? Mercury, copper, these are having the low reactivity, and some metals have completely negligible reactivity. That means it doesn't have any reactivity, it doesn't react with anyone. So that kind of metals are called the noble metals. So which one are they? We are very familiar with it. Gold, silver and platinum. These three metals have completely negligible reactivity. The compounds of these three metals are not found. Okay. So yes, silver have some compounds like silver chloride, silver nitrate, but gold and platinum are completely non-reactive noble metals. So they are found in a pure form in the nature, right? They not in a compound, completely pure form. These metals are found from the mines and from the earth crust, but somewhat low reactivity. This mercury and copper have some reactivity. So this how they are extracting. The metals are in a sulfide form, low reactive metals, mostly in a sulfide form. Sulfide means S, which has the valency -2. So this form, sulfide form, for example, mercury has the compound HgS, that is mercury sulfide, and the common name is cinnabar. Common name of this ore is cinnabar. How this will be extracted? See, whenever there is a sulfide form, we need to convert into the, so by the roasting process, we need to convert it into oxide, and then oxide will be reduced to the metal. Right? Metals, removal of oxygen, then the remaining, and removal of oxygen will be the reduction process. So after removing of oxygen, we are getting the metal. How it will be? So this sulfide HGS is heated in presence of air, so it reacts with the oxygen from the air. So HGS plus O2 gives mercury oxide, that is HgO, plus SO2, that is sulfur dioxide gas. HgO solid and sulfur dioxide gas will be released as a product. So this mercury oxide in the same mixture, okay, this is the roasting process we can say. So in the same mixture, this oxide will be heated again, okay, they are in the same vessel there. So as the HgO is made, is produced, these heating process is continuing. So this HgO will be heated further and converting to mercury plus O2 will be released. Okay, so this is the reduction process. It's showing reduction process, and mercury is at liquid form. Okay, at normal temperature. So at heating, it may be some higher temperature, but so mercury will be in a liquid form. This mercury will be extracted from the vessel. Okay, and this metals will be, this mercury will be in the somewhat impure form. It is pure metal, but some impurities can be there. So this will be refined. So 100% pure metal can be obtained in the purification, the last step. But mercury metal is obtained now. Same way for the copper sulfide, that is Cu2O, Cu2S, copper sulfide, is heated in presence of air. So it reacts with the oxygen and making copper oxide, Cu2O plus SO2 gas will be released. So this copper oxide again reacts with the copper sulfide in the vessel and making copper and SO2. Okay. So the copper metal can be obtained in the vessel. That can be removed from the vessel. So this is how, by heating in presence of air, the sulfide are converted to first oxide, and then oxide will convert into metal. So this is how the extraction of metals with low reactivity can be done. Now, extraction of metals with medium reactivity, okay, somewhat moderate reactivity. So the metals like iron, zinc, lead, they are having the moderate, medium reactivity. This medium reactivity helps two forms generally, carbonate form and sulfide form. Carbonate means CO3, 2 minus, it has the valency, and sulfide S, that is 2 minus valency it has. So mainly in two forms, carbonate and sulfide. So firstly, our first task is to convert this carbonate and sulfide form to oxide form. Okay, so this conversion of carbonate to oxide, that is the calcination process, and conversion of sulfide to oxide, that is the roasting process. What is the difference between two? When zinc, so we can take it one example, zinc sulfide. Okay, zinc is in sulfide form, zinc sulfide, heated in presence of air, convert into zinc oxide, ZNO, and SO2 gas will be released. Right? So conversion of sulfide to oxide in presence of air process. Now in calcination, carbonate to oxide. Let us say if zinc is in carbonate form, ZnCO3, it is heated in absence of air. Right? This is the difference between this two, roasting and calcination. So calcination process, zinc carbonate is heated. So by heating it, zinc carbonate will convert into zinc oxide and carbon dioxide gas will be released. So now we are ending at the oxide form. Now only the next task can be to remove this oxygen from this metal oxide. Right? After removing the oxygen, we can obtain our metal. So zinc oxide can be so that will be the reduction process to remove the oxygen, and to remove the oxygen some reducing agents are used. Okay, for the reduction process, whatever substance or compound is used, that is for the reducing agent. So some of the elements or compounds can be used for the reduction. So zinc oxide, here carbon is used, so zinc oxide plus carbon will give zinc. Carbon will take this oxygen because carbon has the very high attraction towards the oxygen. Reducing agent can be such that which have high affinity or attraction towards the oxygen. Carbon has high attraction towards the oxygen. So it can simply take the oxygen from the zinc oxide and we are getting zinc plus carbon. Oxygen will be attached, carbon monoxide gas will be released. So we are obtaining this zinc metal. Another example we can take with carbon. There is another high reactive metal can also be used. High reactive metal like sodium, potassium, calcium, aluminium. Because this high reactive metal have very if they are high reactive, they can simply displace the low reactive metal. Right? So let us see one example. MnO2, that is manganese oxide, manganese dioxide plus aluminium. Aluminium is a high reactive metal. So simply this high reactive metal will displace this manganese and making the oxide. Right? So by simply the displacement reaction to displace high reactive metals can be used as a reducing agent. So manganese oxide plus aluminium give manganese and Al2O3. This displacement reaction are exothermic reaction. Okay, so at the end of the reaction we are getting heat, and this heat is enough to melt this metal. Okay, so if the metal have somewhat low melting point, then this heat is quite high, but if that heat will be enough to melt the metal. So the manganese is in liquid form, that L represents a liquid form. So this manganese metal will be obtained as a liquid form. Okay? Because this displacement reaction will be the exothermic process. And this exothermic reaction, displacement reaction being an exothermic reaction, this property can be used to join the broken railway parts and broken machine parts. Cracked in a machine parts can be joined by by this process. Okay, so that particularly known as thermit reaction. How it will be? Generally, the metal parts is of iron. Okay, so we know that iron in the machine or railway tracks is of iron. This iron, the surface of iron will be corroded or rusted, and the rust has a formula Fe2O3. Okay, so in the surface is having Fe2O3 because the surface of the iron or machine parts will be rusted. That will be converted to oxide form. So Fe2O3 react with aluminium, giving Fe, and aluminium is more reactive than Fe. So aluminium will displace this iron and making Al2O3, and Fe will be there, and this and heat will be released as a product because this displacement reaction is a exothermic reaction. So this heat is enough to melt the iron. Okay, so this heat is high enough such that it melt the iron metal. So iron will be in a molten state, liquid state. Okay, so as the liquid, wherever there is a broken piece, this displacement reaction, the aluminium is taken, and this displacement reaction can be done on that area such that the iron will be melted. This melted iron, so if the pieces there is a crack or pieces are broken, the melted iron will join this crack. So melted iron can take the shape of whatever part it is. It can take the shape and the parts can be joined. Right? The crack of the crack can be joined. If the piece is broken, this piece can be again made by liquefying this iron metal. So this reaction is particularly known as thermit reaction, right? Where the metal are obtained in a liquid form by the displacement reaction. So this is how the metal with low medium reaction can be converted to oxide form and then oxide to metal form. That will be reduced to metal form. This too, and further of high reactive metal that we will see in the next lecture. So still if you have any doubt in this two topic, you can ask me. Thank you.